Now, days after the governorship and House of Assembly elections, President Muhammadu Buhari appears to be satisfied with the conduct of the polls. The president on Tuesday said Nigerians have proved to be capable of deciding who leads them without anyone telling them what to do. President Buhari commended the remarkable passion towards democracy exhibited by Nigerians through the choices they made in the presidential, National Assembly, governorship and state houses of assembly election. The president was speaking at a farewell meeting with the outgoing United States Ambassador, Mary Beth Leonard, at the State House in Abuja. In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State has described the results of the just concluded governorship and House of Assembly election in the state as unacceptable. The chairman of the party, Stephen Ndwegbo, made this known at the party's secretariat in Uyo, the state capital, where he alleged that the just concluded election is a rape of democracy and calling for the removal of the resident electoral commissioner in the state.
The Akwa Ibom State APC rejects in its entirety the outcome of the sham election conducted on Saturday, 18 March 2023, by Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Akwa Ibom State. To further show INEC's partisanship and contempt for the APC in Akwa Ibom State, despite the recent judgment of the Supreme Court and the expert court order directed at INEC to include the name of our gubernatorial candidate, Obong Akanemo Odofia, on the ballot, INEC Akwa Ibom State defied that order. We call on the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, to immediately remove the resident electoral commissioner for his complicity for this rape on our democracy.
The governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, Ladi Adebutu, on Tuesday staged a protest with members of his party to INEC office in Abeokuta. He said the reason for the move was to seek redress on how the commission handled the governorship election result in the state. He alleged irregularities and compromise, noting that the party has submitted letters to the commission on its position on the outcome of the exercise. But in a swift reaction to the news of the protest and alleged rigging, the publicity secretary of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun State, Tunde Oladunjoye, said it was a case of a hunter being hunted, as those pointing accusing fingers are actually the promoter of things that violate the electoral law.
And our contention is that the measures by which other states have been treated and they are allowed to have runoffs, Ogun State should be measured in the same vein. Adamawa has runoffs. Similarly, Kebbi has runoffs. Why is Ogun State being denied runoffs? We are not particular about whatever interest is guiding this. We are only asking for our rights.
As a party, we are reviewing what happened that we lost those assembly seats. What happened that a party that was not campaigning, a party whose candidate was abusing the Obas, how come that party even had that figure it had?
From Ogun to Enugu, where the Independence Layout Road, which leads to the State Collating Center, on Tuesday became a venue for protesters to channel their demands over the suspension of collation by INEC. Mia Akiri is in Enugu and now reports.
Residents and supporters of different political parties on Tuesday continued their protest at Independence Layout, close to the State Collating Center in Enugu. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had on Monday suspended coalition in the states. Party faithful of the People's Democratic Party say they want INEC to declare a winner. After all, 17 local government election results were collated.
You could see all the corners are Enugu indigenes protesting against the delay by INEC to announce Peter Mba as the winner. In that election of 18 March 2023, I want to tell you that the 30,385 votes from Kano is real. The number of accredited voters are 31,500. Number of registered voters 82,492. So that votes are correct across 14 wards of Nkanu East, 146 polling units of Nkanu East.
Other developments, IPAC on Tuesday told newsmen in the state that this could cause unrest amongst youths in Enugu.
See no good reasons why the announcement of the final results and the creation of the winner in the Enugu governorship election, which is adjudged comparatively free, fair and credible, should be placed on hold because of the desperation of a few individuals and at the expense of masses who freely exercised their franchise and made a statement through the ballot.
Days after residents in Enugu State took to the polls, they await INEC's decision to review 2 local government results in Kano East and Nsukka. Mian Akiri, TVC News, Enugu.
Individuals and organizations in Dutse, Jigawa State are taking CBN's latest directive on the use and acceptance of old Naira notes as legal tender with some studious caution. Many call for more sensitization from the federal government to drive the message home. In this report, TVC News' Joke Adisa walks us through how residents of Dutse react to the policy.
It is indeed different strokes for different folks, as TVC News got to see on the streets of Dutse, days after the CBN directed commercial banks to dispense and receive old Naira notes across the country. Many remain skeptical. Here in Dutse, the capital of Jigawa State, the crowd at the banks are getting slimmer, but customers' experiences differ.
People are collecting the old money and they used to spend it. Before, I denied to collect it. But I asked my customers, those who are marketing, can I collect the old note to bring it to you? They say, yeah, if you bring it for us, we'll collect it. But before we used to deny it. So that's why I'm even collecting this 10,000 this morning.
The CBN governor said that the old Naira note is legal tender now. But still, we are not seeing anything. We are not seeing the old Naira note, we are not seeing the new Naira.
While some are able to collect and spend the old notes, others have found it difficult to get, while those that have do not get to spend them. Modibo Jahun is a university teacher in the state. He was happy to receive 10,000 Naira in old 500 Naira notes from East Bank, but he faces a huge task, spending the bills. A frustrated Modibo Jahun seeks government's intervention.
If they are not collecting the money, then they should not issue old money. I want to buy petrol. I want 3 petrol stations there, please. This Kankani and Auto Manager, which is bad. The Supreme Court give judgment on this issue of old currency. Now old currency is what? It's legal tender. Means it has to be accepted. But it's hard enough to go, some places, the rupees. So government has to do something, please. Because we are in hardship, especially in this Jigawa state.
TVC News visited some petrol stations and can confirm some of them, including this station, do not accept the old notes as a means of exchange. Our crew sought to understand reasons behind the rejection, but met a brick wall, as the manager here tactically declined comments and promised to be back in 2 minutes. Our crew waited for more than 30 minutes to no avail. For many, a lot of sensitization is still required to drive the message home, particularly to the grassroots.
I can only get a fuel of 1,000 Naira instead of 5,000 Naira because of the shortage of the currency. So what I'm appealing, I think it is only the president that can end this crisis. As the way he made a previous broadcast, that people should desist from the 1,500 naira note. So let please, Mr. President came on air to tell Nigeria that they should accept the old note.
Some are collecting, some are not collecting. Up to nowadays, the people are not well aware, or they didn't embrace the policy. So I'm appealing for the public, because this suffering is for us. If we didn't accept it, we that will be suffering.
John Eze is a trader in the city center. He tells me why the old Naira notes are being rejected by people like him.
The old Naira note that I collected yesterday, I used it to go and buy something. They could not collect the old Naira note. You understand? And we that are doing business, the thing is affecting our business seriously. So we are not selling, and there are those that bring in the Naira notes. We are not collecting the money. Even though we come to the bank say if they give you the Naira notes, if you did not spend it, you don't bring it to the bank.
Central Bank of Nigeria will surely need to do more to see that individuals and corporate organizations, such as this petrol station, embrace its latest directive that the old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes remain legal tender in Nigeria. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Dutse, Jigawa State.
Now, members of the All Progressives Congress in some parts of Edo State have protested the outcome of Saturday's House of Assembly election. The results released so far by the Independent National Electoral Commission shows that PDP has majority seats, followed by the APC, while some were declared inconclusive. Paul Ezenwa has details.
The Edo State House of Assembly results released by INEC shows that the People's Democratic Party PDP has won 12 out of the 24 seats, while the All Progressives Congress APC has been declared winners of 8 seats, leaving Labour Party with 1, while 3 seats have been declared inconclusive. At the INEC office in Benin City, the member of the House of Representatives representing Ovia Federal Constituency, Dennis Idahosa, led this group of protesters to the INEC office, asking the commission to declare the winner of the Ovia Southwest Constituency election results.
No election is inconclusive in Ovia Southwest.
According to them, the returning officer has failed to announce the winner even after the collation of results has been concluded.
The 10 votes have been collated. We found that even on INEC website, it has been updated. So why can't they announce the result for the people? Why are they trying to impose destiny in Abulele, who was rejected by his kin men?
The total number of collected PVC in those 2 units are not greater than the number my Honorable Agado is leading with. So he was supposed to be declared the winner, unless there are other interior motives which we are not aware of. So we have come to demand for justice, that this election should be announced.
It's also evident that where our party has won as reported from the World Coalition Centers, the constituency returning officers have refused, neglected, and failed to release the result as in Ovia Southwest for no justifiable reason. In areas where our party is leading, the INEC has decided to declare the election inconclusive.
Responding, the Edo State INEC head of voters education and publicity, Timidi Wariowe, appealed to the protesters to be calm while assuring them that the commission will do its best in line with the constitution without any act of favor on any particular party.
We are here in the state office. We will send it to headquarters, but even we here in the state office will also look at this matter. The final decision will come from INEC headquarters. Just as you have been patient, just as you have marched to this place for a peaceful protest, please wait to hear from the commission.
The 3 constituency seats election results declared inconclusive are Igor, Oredo East, and Ovia Southwest constituencies. Paul Ezenwa, TVC News, Benin.
The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, may be in for fresh trouble as over 250 constitutional and human rights lawyers have called on the National Judicial Council to direct all courts in Nigeria not to entertain cases brought before them by the EFCC. The lawyers say this was part of the resolutions reached at the end of their annual conference with the theme Democracy and the Rule of Law, held in Abuja. They insist it would only be appropriate for Nigerian courts to entertain EFCC's cases when the chairman of the Anti-Graft Commission, Abdulrasheed Bawa, must have purged himself of contempt by obeying all subsisting court orders binding on him.
The National Judicial Council to direct all courts in the country to henceforth not entertain any case brought before them by any agency of the government who are found of disobeying court orders, especially EFCC, until the chairman of EFCC, Mr. Abdulrasheed Bawa, has purged himself by obeying all subsisting court orders binding on him. As an official whose conviction was made by an order of a court or court of competent jurisdiction, we do not consider him fit to continue presiding over the affairs of law enforcement agency, especially one constitutionally set up to fight corruption.